GeneralsGentlemen.
Hello! I tried to use WASD to move the mouse.
That doesn't work.
Because we're not playing Smite.
Yeah, no, we're not.
We're playing Company of Heroes 2. We are the Generals Gentlemen. I'm the machine.
And I'm Marcon Hawk. Very excited to be here. This is going to be a pretty fun little match. We do have Alleyviper as our US forces and Dreamfox also as our US forces. They're going to be playing as our allies today.
As for the Axis, or Axes, depending on if you pronounce it like a weirdo, we do have the RNG boys, Mr. Iceman... I
Lol,
wish.
You wish.
DerBear as the OKW, and FestiveLongJohns as the Wehrmacht. So I figured RNG guys have casted us, or me, like enough times that I should probably cast them.
That sounds like a good
just
idea.
To be fair.
Yeah.
And so, spoiler alert, this game is called Boss Troopin'. So, like, come on. That's a pretty inviting name to shoutcast a game. And speaking of that, FestiveLongJohns already living up to his name here, going triple Boss Troopin'.
Yeah, if you wanted to really bait us into a cast here, naming it Boss Troopin' is a pretty good way of doing it. And even if it involves a funny or a pun, and we're probably going to cast your game. That's kind of how it works. And before Company of Heroes 2 is like inundated with like funny punny replays. It'd be great.
Hopefully.
I'd enjoy it.
So this is actually a pretty good map for the Osttroopin Semoski because of the way that the Osttroopin have their cover modifier, and there's a lot of heavy cover.
Oh yeah.
Means they'll be able to really make use of that. Out in the open, the Osttroopin are pretty bad.
They're not that great.
They're not amazing.
No, they're not. So, yeah, they can definitely work on this one here. See how they go. Allies going to be fairly aggressive in the middle here, pushing up those riflemen. Searching, and they do see the truck as well, which is going to be nice. Who's going to get the garrison?
Oh, it's going to be the riflemen. That's going to be a pretty big blow for our Volks. They're really out in the open. Riflemen up close especially going to be doing some nice work. Not many good ways for the Axis to deal with the garrisons of the early game. I have to see a very, very early mortar coming out here of FestiveLongJohns.
Yeah, not at all surprising from that. They're holding the field down the bottom though. Getting an early squad into the garrison there is going to be really nice. They've got the Strumpires in there. Be careful though. We're also going to be forced to retreat here, and two rifle squads should force off the Strums down the bottom. That mortar is going to be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, good work by the riflemen, staying as far away as they can from the Sturm Pioneers. Obviously, you don't want to get close, because they shred you with their STG-44s. And even, like, they actually capped the fuel point during that.
While still being in the medium cover as well, which is definitely nice work from them. Allies still having the middle here. Squad Osttroopin does actually get in the garrison there, so we'll at least put pressure around that area, and it was actually cut off through that area, so they're only getting income through fuel side.
Double mortar, in fact, coming out of FestiveLongJohns.
Interesting.
And it does reinforce the playstyle of Osttroopin. Generally, it's pretty campy. You're putting your Osttroopin behind heavy cover. They're not really doing that much, but they're very, very cheap and fast to reinforce. They have a fair bit of health per squad relative to their damage. So if you're going to have support weapons to support them, be it mortars or the MGs, then it's pretty effective. If you're going to go Osttroopin, there isn't really any reason why you'd go Grenadiers.
You don't really need them, so going for a few support weapons here is definitely going to be nice. This is Long-Johns will secure this cutoff back from the looks of things. Rifleman going to be running away from this one. The blob down the bottom here from Alleyviper has managed to force off any resistance. He's going to be able to cap up the VP and the strap point and start collapsing down in the middle now.
Dreamfox going for the elite rifleman. He's already got a few vetted squads on the field.
It works out well if one of you end up going for them. You do get the, kind of the vet bonus, and the riflemen just kind of dominate the early game for just that little bit longer as well. Double mortar is going to be moving up now, but interesting to see how our allies decide to deal with this one. It's going to be a lot of pressure being put down, especially if our Axis players can actually get back to heavy cover. But be careful with those Vol squads that the neg cover, though, rather than shred.
Not retreating them.
Still in the neg cover.
They could have got wiped very easily.
Yeah. One more unlucky volley, and yeah, definitely could have been over here. Here comes the collapse from Alleyviper. Actually gets the wipe on one of those mortars.
Yeah, all three riflemen came in. Actually crewed one of them. Sturm Pioneers will not be very happy about that one, though. They can wipe this very effectively. Yeah, there we go. So it loses a lot of the models from the rifle. Pretty expensive to reinforce. That's the battle group headquarters coming down. This could get sniped and focused. It should be. But wow, the mortar shot taking the rifleman down to only one model. Sturm Pioneer's not quite going to wipe it.
That could have been very different. The Rifleman actually decided to focus the battle group headquarters. I'm not sure whether Dreamfox knows he's now passing it shredded. Wow, Strumpires went down?
Yeah, that's probably the better play to make, is rather than getting the squad wipes, if you can just wipe the battle group headquarters, which it will die very quickly whilst it's being built, then...
Mono's going to get away from this one, I think.
Yeah, not only are you killing the same sort of manpower investment, but the fuel investment and the tech investment is huge.
Mono gets wiped again. So it's going to be very crude now, but it has meant a bit of map control being lost to our allies. That being said, they haven't actually sent a squad up to the top yet to cap those 3 points. There's a fuel up there, there's VPs, there's munitions, and there's no squads anywhere near them. They're sending a squad up now, which is nice, and the battle group headquarters has survived thus far.
Yeah, they're going to have a very strong foothold if they can keep that up, have their double mortars. Very, very hard to break through.
Definitely will be at that lieutenant here coming out for Dreamfox. Working well with his elite rifleman here. I think he's just going for these engagements so he has the time to cap up the top here. Obviously he's not trading very cost efficiently because of the battle group headquarters. It's making life pretty tough for him, and he does run the risk of losing squads. But
yeah, you can't win this engagement.
Keeping the aggression going.
Because they're reinforcing during this fight, whereas obviously the riflemen aren't doing any of that, and Ostrupin do reinforce very quickly. That's the Flamer Pyos. Going to be very deadly, especially against the garrison.
To be fair, though, he is stopping the Ostrupin from actually getting the heavy cover. Left hand's going to be wiped here
deep snow.
For sure, the deep snow gets him.
Got to be careful of that one. Really does ruin your retreat path. Can't leave it to the last minute.
Yeah, rear echelon probably going to get wiped here as well. Flamer does secure that one. Crits in there. Yeah, look, our allies, this isn't a bad strategy if they can cap the top, but they've got to stop losing squads.
Yeah, sure, they can't win this. Not until there's any AT, then they can actually try and take down the battle headquarters. But really, all they're doing is trading manpower. They can't possibly win the engagement unless manpower bleed is all they're going for. Half Track has come through, which is actually interesting because there's already the battle headquarters, so they don't really need that one. And here comes the Vox blob.
Stop moving is how we do it here.
M15.
That's what they're waiting for. The M15 is going to be coming out. There is a Shrek on the field.
It's already, and they're going in a really derpy spot. Takes one shot.
Turn around.
All those riflemen, they're all in the negative cover, so they will take a lot of damage, especially from the Sturm Pioneers. Gets wiped. Lost way too many squads.
Yeah.
Get the suppression, though, from the M15. That's going to help.
Probably going to force some retreats coming out here. Yeah, the Shrek's not going to actually fire again here. The M15 definitely doing work. Moves back to the half track. Everyone's going to be reinforcing at least double speed from the looks of things here. Riflemen still have control over the heavy cover, and the fuel is being secured by our allies at the top there as well.
Oh, the Panzerfaust from the Ostrupen looks like it will connect.
No Shrek follow-up though.
It's on the road as well,
M15
so
should be fine. It's
a bit faster than normal. Puma not going to be an option with the tier 1 battle group headquarters. So this play can work if the allies are able to hold their fuel and make use of it. A double M15. Wow. I'm surprised they went double. I think one of them rushing a Sherman would be much more effective because one M15 is already going to have enough of an impact.
And if Shreks get garrisons as well, then you're in serious trouble. And that's what we have there. Yeah, the church because.
Oh, and the Faust as well from the Ostrupen. Well. That M15
is done.
Yeah, no chance for escape. I guess they were thinking that they have the Easy 8 Shermans. Yeah, they both went Elite Riflemen, so they didn't really want to tech up when they can just call in those Shermans. But I think, yeah, as you said, Garrison Shreks are hard to deal with. Perhaps going for a pack howitzer would have been smarter. And then at least then you have a tier 3 and a tier 2, so you can go the AT guns if you need to.
And one of those Elite Riflemen was actually really late, I think on the side of Alleyviper. He was the one who lost a lot of those Rifleman squads. But I mean, he wasn't fully embedded ones at the time, and that's where a lot of the power from the Elite Rifleman actually comes from here. Lieutenant on the side of Alleyviper is going to survive this.
Yeah, that's right. If you're going to go Elite Rifleman, you might as well do it from the start.
Yeah, definitely go it early.
But sometimes you just don't know what you need. Having the airborne can be much more valuable in the late game, but I think because of how many squads he lost, he needed to cut his losses and just get those vetted squads back in the action.
Captain just took the battlefield.
Definitely that.
Oh, Captain as well.
Out. Wow. Okay. Different.
Has unlocked the Browning automatic
so yeah,
rifle.
Ali actually did decide to go for that. So what do you reckon he's going to get from that then? I mean, he goes for
definitely a pack howitzer. Look at this blobbing.
Yeah.
Be silly not to.
The manpower, he's pretty low on manpower though. Pack howitzers is a pretty big investment.
They are. They're expensive, but they're just so good against blobs.
They are. So it might be a little while before Ali actually manages to get that out. Really has to make use of the M15 in the open, and with the Rakita Growth on the field now as well, and 2 Shreks, I can't see it being effective at all at this point.
I think double M15 would have been nice if the second one was used for the outlying fuel points and not really just for that main unit blob in the middle.
There's too many garrisons there. It's too dangerous. As you saw there, I mean, 2 Faust and a Faust and then 2 Shreks is all it takes to actually take one out.
Especially against boss troop, and there's going to be so many of those Shreks, the Fausts rather, and they're very low on to reinforce. So even if you do kill a whole bunch, it doesn't really achieve that much.
And
it's a 50 cal. Okay.
Yeah, it is 50 cal. Yeah, the one they've had for a little while. So on the side, and plus you get redistribute resources, don't you, on the side of FestiveLongJohns?
For Ostripping,
yeah, you do. Fuel into munitions there, so lots of Fouls aren't really going to be an issue for him. We do have a setup here. Straight Panzer headquarters is going to be going down. Let's see if we can get some focus here. If the rifleman can actually start focusing it now, it might go down.
Yeah, especially some of these squads being suppressed. They are focusing it. It is being destroyed.
Oh,
Captain
yeah,
as
Captain
well.
with the bazooka.
That's
going
to
nice.
be it's easy mode. That's dead.
That's
Panzer headquarters, not a chance. That's the risk of going for it during combat, is it just gets sniped so easily.
That's a big deal here. DerBear not going to be happy about that. That's a big investment.
Yeah, but
that get wiped?
Yeah, it was a mortar followed up just by a couple of Volt shots. Captain gets taken out. Not very expensive to rebuild though. It's only, I think, 200 manpower. And that's a white phosphorus smoke.
It is, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's going to force the retreats, but I mean, again, no follow-up here. All it does is burn health. It doesn't actually burn reinforce or anything like that, so it will take actually a bit of time for those squads to heal up.
Oh, Faust lands from the Ostrippin.
There we go, yeah, Faust does actually land, but I don't know if the Volst can actually follow this one up. I mean, how low they are on health, they're just going to bleed models, yeah. It takes you so low. It means if you follow it up with literally anything, and I think this was the idea here, you can just start shredding models. It's pretty much free manpower at that point because of how low the squad actually is on health. And 15's going to keep moving, though. And
it does take a while to actually heal squads when they're all that low. When every single entity is incredibly low, and there's multiple squads.
We'll be spread pretty thin.
Repairing that on the field. Risky move though. FestiveLongJohns is moving up. I called him FestiveLongJohns. Hopefully he isn't insulted by that one.
No, definitely wouldn't be.
The pack is moving up. It is within range. It doesn't actually have vision.
Ostripping can scout for it though.
Yeah, he sees it now, but he can probably just retreat if he gets in it straight away. But as he get within range of the Panzerfaust, yeah, that's looking like a dead M15 to me. Suppression hits.
First shot goes off.
The pack is still within range. Does that sight though?
Last shot off. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, the problem with Code 2 is it doesn't give you all of the tools that you need to effectively micro your own units. What happened then was the M15 was out of range, so it shouldn't have been able to see the M15, but the M15 was automatically firing at the Ostrippin, which therefore revealed the M15 to the pack. If the game had a hold fire, which it should, the M15 could have not fired, and then it wouldn't have revealed itself.
There's another mortar wipe just then.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure Alien just lost another squad.
Wow.
I think it might have been another rifleman squad there to the mortars. The mortars are really doing work here. It's less about mortar RNG and more of the fact that there's 2 mortars.
And accuracy bulletins.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, and that's Vet too.
Oh yeah, it is too, yeah.
So it's going to be even more accurate now. But that happened to me before in a game as well, is like you're trying to juke away from like a tank or an AT gun, and then your pintle-mounted machine gun starts firing on something, and like tank destroyers have a hold fire mode, but your regular tanks won't. They should give hold fire mode to everything.
There's no reason for them not to, so... Yeah, this 50 cal's probably going to be in an 8 here.
So, another incendiary comes through. S-mines!
Oh, that's not a fun retreat path. Is there one more?
Surprisingly, he actually gets through it. There's a lot of S-mines over here as well.
After sacrificing
another incendiary.
Yeah, another phosphorus, yeah.
Sorry, it's phosphorus, that's what I meant.
It's phosphorus,
I said that a couple of times. They're both white and burned.
Where is it? Unless that was like a major barrage or something. But
maybe it was a...
Oh wow, I think there's a major barrage.
They're so bad.
Oh god, no.
They're so bad. It isn't
recommend.
even killing the S-mines.
Yeah. Pretty much, if you pop that, it's a guaranteed way to lose munitions.
120 munitions, it fires like 3 shells, it takes like 5 seconds to land, and even then the shells are crap. The AoE damage is abysmal. And the scatter is huge. You get better arty when you vet up, but it's still terrible and it's so bad. Never use Major Barrage.
Never, ever.
Use the fake Major Barrage
Yeah,
by all means, because they may retreat because they may think that it's a white phosphorus.
Yeah, something that actually does damage.
Yeah.
Kills units, but yeah.
If it's a real Major arty, they probably won't bother. But if you're in a commander that has other arties, then it's like, oh no, it might be the good arty. But the Major arty is just so bad.
You ran for minutes and minutes. Because of all these engagements as well, they're also starting to get really vetted.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Shreks, vet 4 and vet 3 already.
And
should move back away here. Ooh, didn't penetrate.
lucky bounce. Shermans don't bounce very often.
Don't
know if it actually would have killed it though. I think it would have been fine.
Yeah, probably would have survived one more Shrek there, I think.
Dunno.
455 VPs here for our allies, 327 for our Axis. But yeah, I mean, both of our US forces have gone for very kind of early game commanders here with those easy 8s.
And it's going to be very hard.
That's okay, but yeah, it's hard.
Because Samoski, because of how many shot blockers and how many choke points and how small the map is, and with how many Shreks, you can't really use the mobility of the allied medium vehicles. It's going to be very hard. I think what would have been a better option is for one of these US players to go infantry and to have the priest. That would have really helped. Also, the mortar half track, it's pretty bad, but with how much of a blob and camp there is coming out of the Axis, it would have been worth it, I think.
Yeah. I'm surprised no pack howitzer then. This is a big rifleman blob. No MGs though.
Again, yeah, pack howitzer. When you're versing this sort of play, you need to have the indirect support, the artillery. Very, very important.
And Alleyviper definitely could have gone for that. I mean, just went for the 50 cal instead, which is still good blob control, but the pack howitzer could have infected so much bleed at this point.
Is that another major arty?
Oh no! Please, is it really? Can you click on the major and find out if it is?
Yeah, it only fired 3 shells.
I don't know.
Oh, that's so bad!
Oh no!
Stop using major arty! 120 munitions for literally 3 shells.
Yeah.
That even if it hits a pack direct, it probably won't wipe the whole thing.
Yeah. GeneralsGentlemen say no.
It's very optimistic. I think I've killed a pack once. I've
know
killed
if I
a
have.
pack once with a
Once?
major arty. Yeah. And I've used it probably 5 times, and I've killed a squad once.
Yeah. Just not recommended. So Sherman's going to be chasing... Yeah,
No, that's going to be nice.
Retreat,
M8.
yeah,
I like
nice.
that.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That's a nice way of doing things. Good
Doesn't
choice,
have much
Alleyviper.
range, so it's hard to use. But compared to other artillery is what I mean. But still, you can outrange packs, you can outrange Shreks, has a lot of AoE, has a high rate of fire, it's going to be very good. Gotta be careful of the ice. Sherman, it's looking pretty dead to me. That's a Stug, in fact. The Stug G, the one that's actually balanced. It's not very good against tanks, though. It's pretty low penetration. They turned it into just a poor man's P4. It doesn't really do that much. It's not a very good unit overall, but it's cheap, and it has the range. This is a dead Sherman.
Definitely going down.
Really, the Shreks were all that were required to kill that one. And somehow this got caught by a Faust from the Ostrippen.
Yeah, it might gonna be too close. It's still firing, really? It seems like the kind of thing the Stug would be after. I mean, that's something that's gonna penetrate consistently.
Yeah, I guess that's probably why I went for the Stug, because it has the range, it has a pretty decent rate of fire, and it will basically always penetrate an MA. It doesn't have any armor or anything like that.
So here's the pack howitzer going to be coming out of Alleyviper.
Yay!
Just then, yeah, nice choice. Might actually give him some hope of a prayer here of actually holding things. Definitely work extremely well against this lobby, expected to get bettered up very fast. With that being said, I mean, FestiveLongJohns has had those mortars for a while now. Vet 2 and Vet 1, respectively. Pretty potent, for sure.
Flamers on the rifleman.
Is Festive going for an Ostwind? Is that what the image
that's
is?
Ostwind.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's been so long since I've seen one actually built in competitive play.
Yeah, and I think it's because both of them have so much AT. They already have a crazy amount of Shreks. They already have the packs. They don't need any more AT. Because when you play as Axis, and you can really just depend on those Shreks. So you can invest more in the infantry-based tanks. I think the reason why the M8 isn't a horrible idea is because there's no Tigers. Normally, you have to have X amount of AT by X amount of command points, or you just lose to the pull-ins.
Yeah.
But with the Ostrippen, there's no Tigers, so it gives a lot more freedom for our allies to...
Please no Major Barrage.
Please no Major Barrage.
Please no Major Barrage.
Oh, okay, thank God. It's
Right,
a
phosphorus.
effective, good artillery.
Yeah. Love it. Love your work. Doesn't really do much though. If it impacts on buildings, I've noticed the spread doesn't really go that far. If the shells hit buildings, it doesn't really spread properly where it's supposed
See,
to.
look, the riflemen,
Like,
almost wiped that.
Yeah, look at that. That's
Almost.
the follow-up.
They could have easily wiped that if they had better RNG, but Ostfin is going to be very, very powerful. It's going to just destroy the infantry entirely. It's still going to be able to force off the M8 if it gets within range, and it will wipe the rifles, and in fact, the Flamer half-track, baller points for winning one of those. It's been a while.
Yeah, that squad did just get wiped there. The rifles do go down to the Ostwind. A lot of kills now. Axis really are denying these infantry squads and the veterans here extremely well at the moment here. Another Shrek should land. Ooh, goes for the rifleman.
It's just not good unit preservation. He retreats that one, which is nice. So, Pack Howitzer and M8 have got to be careful. The squad can get wiped pretty easily. It's actually been... Yeah, there we go. That was just bad play. He took about 6 volleys before he retreated, which... Yeah, that's just not very good, but that's alright. Maybe he wasn't watching.
That's okay. He was wiping out the squads. It's squad wipe for squad wipe at this point. A lot of map control here by our Axis, though. 380 BPs for our allies, 327 for our Axis. I'm going to get recapped, though.
Should probably see some caches up here, whether it be fuel or munitions. Just because FestiveLongJohns is floating a lot of his manpower.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a manpower float there. I see him use it for something.
So there's 2 M8s from both of our US.
So it might work for now, until DerBear gets something really big and scary.
Yeah, he can probably just go King Tiger if he wants to, but I think we'll see him go for the Panther. It's going to be a bit easier to kill those tanks because it has the longer range, but obviously it'll just come a lot sooner. It doesn't have the tier 2 yet. Costs less fuel.
Panzer headquarters are of course up at the moment now. I think the main thing saving our allies at this point is the fact that they killed the Panzer headquarters earlier.
Yeah, that's
definitely
true.
delayed DerBear in terms of tank output. They really, could have been a Panther a lot earlier already, and that would have been a big pain for our allied players.
Because the allies aren't really holding out, and they're not holding out against no tanks. It's like, yeah, there's a Stug and an Ostwind, but like, there isn't a Panther or a Tiger that's really forcing the vehicles off the map. There's just Shreks.
There really needs to be more effort from our allies to break this camp. The M8s really have to be firing consistently, as does the Pack Howitzer. Just at the point where, the Panther comes out, it's just going to start diving on these M8s, and there's really nothing to stop it on the side of our allies. I mean, there's a couple of bazookas on the side of the riflemen, but...
Bazookas don't work.
Yeah, they don't work against Panthers.
The game only ever gets worse for allies when there's Vet 5, when there's Tigers and Panthers coming. Unless you get some cheesy squad wipes with your M8s, that's kind of all you can really hope for. Please, squad wipe.
And it's really hard to use as well because of the way that our RNG guys have actually set this up. I mean, they've got so many Osttrooping squads, it's just so many Shreks just walking around. That's going to be the kill. I was going to say, not only the pack, but even the Ostwind will actually penetrate that.
Yeah, I think for comparison, M8s have about as much armor as a Jackson.
Yeah.
Get it? Jacksons have shit armor.
Yeah, I understood that. Yeah. I was just agreeing with you because not only is it funny, you're also correct.
Yeah.
So, the 50 cal's also going to get wiped. Oh, hang on. Wait, the 50 cal's still alive. Wow.
It's not fanboying if it's factually correct.
Yeah. 50 cal actually survived that one, which is pretty important. It was on vet too.
Oh, man.
Which can be... Wow, those Porsche
they're dead.
Gonna die.
Nice work there from our US, but they're going to have to retreat through the Ostwind. That could be a bit deadly.
Yeah, a couple of the flamethrowers here. I don't hate them, especially when you have to rely on garrison clearing. Yeah, the use of these M8s is interesting.
Oh, no.
I use the word interesting.
He's caught between a Shrek and a Faust.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, 2 Shreks and a Faust.
Shrek in a cold place in this case. He is, of course, shrunken there.
Oh, missed.
One missed. That's unfortunate. We'll get forced off by these Volts now, and I think it's only a matter of time until our allies are out of this one. I mean, they lost that M8. They keep losing their M8.
Jackson.
There any potency here.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Cool.
We salute you. The Gentlemen salute you, Jackson.
Well, the Jackson's going to be incredibly effective against the Ostwind and the Stug.
Yeah.
Because the problem with Jacksons, they don't penetrate. But against armor as little as Ostwinds and Stugs, yeah, they're going to penetrate consistently. And then as a result, their damage is really high with their range and the raw damage. The problem is against anything, Panthers, Tigers, they just bounce all the freaking time. Nice pickup here, though.
Good mortar wipe.
Getting that Vet 2 mortar down, but there's a Vet 3 mortar anyway. I think the Allies really should have got more artillery and much sooner. A fast Pack Howitzer, fast mortar half track.
It was mainly the double M15 that put
Yeah, that was
behind,
the real misplay there, I think.
Yeah, now oversaw that and are on the field. Yeah, from the point, it's not only the fuel investment, that's obviously a huge deal. It's delaying whatever you're going for. It's also the manpower investment. I mean, it means you can go for a pack howitzer later. You got the 50 cal later. Even, yeah, just a big investment going for them. And on a map where there are garrisons, there's no real way to clear the Shreks out of those garrisons.
Yeah, unless you have a pack howitzer.
Exactly,
or a mortar half track.
Yeah, so one of them would have been fine, or maybe up the top even. That would have been a nice spot where there are no garrisons, and they can be out in the open, and they've got roads. It's a nice area to be in, but the middle's a bit too clustery for them.
Overall, Semovsky is just a hard map to use those light vehicles, which is then why Allies suffer, because they're a lot more dependent on using those light vehicles. But yeah, as a result, it's more of artillery. But anyway, we do have the Austrians going to be taking down the 50 cal from the frontal firing arc. They don't need a flank because they're Osttrooping. Apparently they need a flank because it's bugging out, not actually firing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What?
I think his gun's broken. He's just,
oh, you know why? It's because I think he's...
What?
I can't zoom in on this mouse.
Can you
I think
the other mouse?
the dead body or something?
It's like blocking him.
I don't even know.
Realism,
man.
guys. Your guns can jam in the in the real world here. Panther's out on the field though on the side of DerBear, and that's pretty much the GG essentially at this point. The Jackson might be able to hold it off, but the Panther is now just going to give... Yeah, it won't kill it, and now the Panther is going to give the Ostwind and the hard track and everything else a much better safety. Kind of play back, and the Panther just stops the Jackson from actually coming in and going for it.
The thing is with Jackson, there's no kill potential, and the reason why is because you don't have enough sight to effectively use your full range, so you have to chase down very, very deeply, and that's just so risky because you just get caught by Shreks or the Panther, and it's hard to calculate because the penetration is about 50% against the frontal armor. Yeah.
Okay, so P4 Panther here from our Axis. Nice choice. They've got pretty much this all rounded out. They've got the AT, they've got the anti-infantry, they have the map control. We don't need much else at this point. They've got the vetted Shrek squads, that's always nice to have as well. This could be all she wrote. Jackson's moving up the top here. Let's see what happens there. Well, look at that flame half track. Vet 3. Balling hard.
Problem with the medium vehicles coming...
Stewart.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to work very well, though. But it will scout for the Jackson, but you want to have a Sherman scout.
2 shots.
What was that? So that was actually a Rakit from the garrison.
Well. So it's scouted for a little while.
Yeah, Shermans are much better because obviously they have a fair bit of health and armor, so you can actually take a bit of punishment for scouting for the Jackson. The thing with Jacksons is you need to have a scouting tank. Again, they don't have any vision. There's the Panther, but it's found the Jackson.
I don't think he had vision past that tree.
Yeah, he didn't. It was blocked off by it.
Now with the safety of the M1, that might be enough here. MG did actually get wiped here. 50 cal's going to be moving up as well. We'll at least force off those vols. I think that Jackson might be the last-ditch effort here for our allies. There's not really anything else they have on the field.
Well, they have flamers.
Yeah.
Those are a thing.
Flamers can be a thing until they blow up and kill half your rifle.
Yeah, until they blow themselves up.
Yeah.
Ostwind's
gonna blow it up.
Yeah.
Guarantee. Gentlemen guarantee the retreat though. Should be okay.
We don't actually guarantee.
No, we don't. That was a false guarantee, guys. We don't really think. Yeah, riflemen are going to be forced off here. I think, yeah, as you were saying, Machine, just the lack of enough artillery to kind of break that camp, but they really focused. They lost a lot of squads trying to fight over the battle group headquarters, just in the area of it, and it just didn't work out for them. It could have, but it just didn't in this particular case.
There's a Jackson. Nice penetration, actually. Well, that's the M1 as well, so really rolling the RNG dice here. Does my Jackson penetrate? Does it not? Let's find out. Jacksons can be good, but they can also be awful.
Do you get the Shrek?
Depending purely on RNG.
You're repaired now. See what happens there. M1's been forced off.
Another Jackson.
50 cal's still actually alive. He might have just been taken out though. Stug's backing away now. So yeah, 2 Jacksons. That could be nice for our allies. They have a chance now.
How do they have vision on
not
that?
out of this one. Seems to be a bit of a push.
Yeah, a bit
of a push in the middle though. Tricks are going to be running up.
A valiant effort by our allies there. They're not giving up.
Yeah, they really are trying to hold this one.
And the VPs are actually pretty even.
They definitely are. Yeah, 250 for our allies, 307 now for our Axis. With 2 Jacksons out in the field, you know, got some potential there. They're going to be careful with the packs from a keeping Burfers on the field, but they're definitely not out of this one.
Yeah, but look at FestiveLongJohns. Is floating all the manpower
In the world.
They're getting fuel caches. Yeah, they just have all they need. So FestiveLongJohns, building another P4, and I think building these P4s really aren't smart. Because the thing is, though, is when you're versing Jacksons, not only are you like just going to lose them, but you're also feeding the Jacksons veterancy. And that then is a problem, because with the HEVAP rounds, and then especially if they get Vet 2, they really start becoming actually pretty decent, and they're actually able to, you know, work against Panthers and Tigers. Whereas normally your Jacksons, they just don't get veterancy because they just don't penetrate it consistently enough.
And you have to penetrate to get veterancy.
Yeah,
so.
it's kind of like Catch-22.
Yeah.
Need veterancy to penetrate, need penetrate to get veterancy. They surrendered, yeah.
I don't think they're wait to
a
lose
very
their tanks.
anticlimactic end,
Yeah.
but... Okay, so that was a very one-sided game.
Cool use to Ostrupen. I did like that.
Yeah, I don't think it was so much the Ostrupen, I think it was the lose M15, don't build artillery, mortar wipes.
Yeah. Both go Elite Rifleman.
Yeah, a Priest would have been amazing.
Priest would have been really good, yeah, definitely. And if they were holding out for a Priest, and then, you know, Alleyviper went for the Elite Rifleman as well. So, yeah, maybe just a couple of poor choices. Nevertheless, a bit of a fun game. So, yeah.
Shout out for Ostwins.
Yeah, shout out for Ostwins. And good unit mixing.
And Flame Half-Track.
Lots of unit mixing, man. It's good, actually. They were used really effectively, and they were built at the right time, so
You didn't lose any of them either.
Good knowledge from Mr. RNG, friends.
Didn't even lose his half-track, which was
No,
cool.
he didn't lose the half-track. Bet 3 with
stuff.
Flames.
That's it, folks.
Cheers. Thanks for tuning in.